What's up, everyone? Welcome into another game day update. I'm Kelcey. That's Mike. Tonight, the Grizzlies will take on the defending champs. The Milwaukee Bucks are in town in Memphis. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Now, listen, the Bucks, they're going to start tonight with a four-game road trip, or three-game road trip, excuse me. That includes the Grizzlies, the Sixers, and the Nets. And so I think that we won't see a full squad tonight. Drew Holiday is out. Chris Middleton is probable, so he most likely will play. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo is questionable right now on the Grizzlies side. Dylan is back in. Ja is, of course, still out. Brandon is out. And we talked to the guys at Shoot Around this morning. And one of the big things that Desmond was saying was that because these two teams, Mike, are 1 and 2 in the league in first quarter scoring, the Grizzlies have scored 30 or more points in 23 of the last 25 games. It's going to be a very high scoring quarter, but putting out and taking that first punch is going to be the key to what Desmond thinks is going to win tonight's game. What do you see as the key?
I mean, you're looking at two mirror images in terms of how these teams have been constructed, in terms of how they play, and also in terms of what their injury status is right now. You talked about some key guys being either questionable or out tonight. So this won't be a true look at both squads, full squad, but you're going to see their systems in play. You're going to see ball movement. You're going to see transition offense. You're going to see spacing and three-point shooting. So that speaks to the high volume of points and scoring in the first quarter. So whoever can set that tone is going to be the team that has an advantage. Both of these teams are also good at overcoming adversity too, and they play through it. I don't think that this is a throwaway game by any stretch. You look over at Milwaukee, that's a team right now, as it stands today, a half a game out of first place in the East because they've been able to catch up to Miami, who struggled the last couple of weeks here. So this is something that if the Bucks can get this win, they're right in the thick of a race for the #1 overall seed in the East, again, as the defending Eastern Conference champions and NBA champions. The Grizzlies, meanwhile, they could do it with Ja. They've done it without Ja. It's just they want to continue that momentum that they have.
Yeah, the last time these two teams played up, the Bucks took care of business, 126 to 111. And Ja Morant had 33 points. Jaren had 29. So obviously Ja is not playing tonight, so someone else steps up. But that game was also without Dylan, without Dez, without Tyus. How do you see Desmond coming in and changing the game? Obviously, they didn't get to see the Bucks last time they played.
I mean, Desmond gets better every single time we see him play. You know, this is a guy that is, you know, obviously it's almost like, you know, who's going to get most improved? I mean, it's going to be a toss-up. Ja really doesn't want it, but Desmond deserves it. It's one of those deals where every game out, he proves that he can do whatever he's tasked with doing. Can he be this team's second best player? On certain nights he is. On certain nights he's the best player. And he's fine in either one of those roles. Whatever you need him to do, he's able to do. So when you have multiple guys like that, whether it's shooting, we saw DeAnthony Melton come back from a little bit of a slump that he's been in. Desmond Bane has been able to carry the load right now while Ja's been out. And then Tyus Jones is keeping everything organized as the steady, heady point guard that he is. But Desmond Bane is really earning himself some respect and also a level of appreciation as we move forward into the playoffs. We know he's going to be reliable for sure.
Now, you mentioned two things earlier, and that was transition and also rebounding. We talked to Melton, obviously, at Shoot Around again this morning, and we said, you know, the Grizzlies and the Bucks, #1 and 2 in the league in terms of rebounding, but also those fast break points, he was saying, is where you want to kind of get your lead from the Bucks. And we said, how do you rebound and send 4 guys to the rebound, but also get out in transition? He didn't really have the answer for us. He said that's something that we got to figure out in tonight's game. How do you see that working, Mike?
I mean, you know, you hope first and foremost Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams can do their part and control the glass on both ends of the floor. You know, Steven Adams sometimes is a one-man wrecking crew when it comes to offensive rebounding, and he knows how to find the ball, and the ball almost finds him, whether it's the short rebound right off the rim or even some of the long rebounds from the three-point shots that come off. What you don't want to do, though, is let the Bucks get out into easy transition. One of the things is we know how lethal Milwaukee is when they tend to, you know, their big three together. They just don't have them together as much. We talked about that with Brooklyn, too. You know, what it used to be Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. They were a different team when those three were together. The same with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, obviously, and you know, and their point guard there. So it's one of the Drew Holiday. But they don't seem to be able to get healthy enough to ever play together. What you have to do now is just control the others. Both of these teams have great supporting casts, you know, and as long as some of those guys are available, you got to be respectful for what they have because they are productive.
All right. And just a note, you
Yeah.
mentioned Steven Adams being that one-man wrecking crew. He is 3 offensive rebounds away from the Grizzlies franchise single season record of offensive rebounds. So let's go into our key stat for the game. If you want to go first, what do you pick as your key stat to win the game?
Well, great point pointing out the offensive rebounding with Steven Adams closing in. I believe that's Zach Randolph's record, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not Zach, then I know it's one of those other frontline guys that have done their work on the offensive glass. Shout out to Desmond Bane for also setting a single season franchise 3-point record, beating Mike Miller's record as well, too, in the previous game. So these guys are doing historical things every single game. I think the key stat tonight, though, is transition scoring, fast break scoring. Whatever team can win that battle, I think will win the, because that means that they're getting to the pace that they want to play at and creating easier opportunities against a stacked defense or go away from facing a stacked defense. So transition, fast break scoring is going to be my key tonight.
All right. I would love to say points in the paint. However, the Grizzlies are obviously 1 and the Bucks are 25. So bottom 5 in the league. So I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to go with the 3-ball tonight. The last time they played, the Grizzlies shot only 22% from the 3. It was 9 for 40. And that is not how they've been shooting the past 5, 6, 7 games. So I think you're going to go transition buckets, whoever wins that battle. I'm going to go whoever wins the 3-point battle, because they have some 3-point shooters in Grayson Allen, who Grizzlies fans are familiar with, Pat Connaughton. They have 3-point shooting. So I think Desmond, Jaren, those guys get hot from 3. That's going to win the game for the Grizz tonight. And
you know, both teams are going to hunt for them too. They're going to look for those shots. Those are early transition shots. So you can get 3-point balls even in transition. So it's going to be amazing to see how the 3-ball falls or not falls for one of these teams and whether they can get to that 3-point game. The tip is at 7:00 tonight. You can come hang out at FedExForum and get your tickets at 901-888-HOOP or at grizzlies.com, or make sure if you're chilling at home with your friends and fam that you're tuning into Bally Sports Southeast.